Hi, Adrian Facciani from Thatch Fitness. Today's video blog, I want to spend some time talking about posture. Now, I've broken this into kind of two parts. So this week I'm going to talk about posture while standing, and then next week I'm going to talk about posture whilst seated. Now, with posture, there are really kind of two main attributes that lead to good posture. First, there's a technical aspect, and then second, there's a kind of physical conditioning aspect. Now, in terms of the technical aspect, it's relatively easy to get yourself into good posture for a short period of time, and there are even now wearable devices you can get that you can kind of stick on your spine and the thing beeps and squeals when you're leaning in the wrong direction or leaning to the side or not holding yourself in the right place. The second part, which is more challenging, is to be able to hold good posture for long periods of time, which is what the ultimate goal is. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit first about what good posture looks like, and then secondly talk about the conditioning aspect. So in terms of good posture, I like to really keep the process of developing or teaching people good posture really simple. I like to kind of focus on a couple of things. So if I stand side on, you'll often see what I sort of see as bad posture. And that's a couple of things. That's this position here. So shoulders are drooped forward, there's no core control, and you're basically in this position, and people often spend large amounts of time in this position when they're standing around. Now, again, I like to keep the kind of technical cues to a minimum so that they're fairly easy to remember. And all I really like people to do is sort of two or three things. Firstly, what I do is I like people to lift their chest up. So from this position here, I like them to lift their chest up. Now, often what happens when you do that, and I'll do this face on, is that when you lift your chest up, people often then pull their shoulders up in the process of trying to lift their chest up, and so they tend to be a little bit engaged through their shoulders and their traps too much. So it's chest up, it's shoulders down, and then most importantly, it's abdominal brace. A little abdominal brace. Think about being a little tight through your core. And if you do that, then this leads to the ideal position. So you're not tilting your head back or forward, you're just there, but it's chest up, abdominal brace, shoulders down, and there's your ideal posture. Now that's the first part, and just about anyone can do that for a very short period of time. The challenge then is having someone be able to hold good posture for hours and hours on end. Anytime you stand, you should be able to hold good posture the entire time. Where that problem comes into is then lack of core condition, and in particular what we'd call strength endurance, the ability to be able to maintain a contraction for long periods of time. So let me demonstrate again. If I get into a good postural position here, and I've got an abdominal brace on, and I let that abdominal brace go, so I'm just going to relax my stomach, you see what happens is there I end up dropping, rounding my shoulders, core's gone, and I'm back to this really horrible position. I abdominal brace again, lift my chest up, and then I hold this kind of nice position. And that's where you need to be in terms of trying to get people to hold good posture for periods of time. So there's really two parts. One is you teach them the basic technique of how to get into the right position. And the second thing, which is what I say to people, is that every time you remember, think about chest up, abdominal brace, relax shoulders, and hold that position for as long as you can. As soon as fatigue sets in, you relax. As soon as you've recovered from the fatigue in your core, contract again, lift your chest up, and repeat that position. And over time, and this does take time, you will increase that endurance over your core, you'll be able to hold the position for longer and longer, and then what will happen is then all of a sudden you're helping the correct alignment of your spine and you're really keeping yourself in good shape when standing. Now, when seated, that's a whole different story, and next week I'll run through the reasons why it's significantly harder to hold good posture whilst you're seated. Until then, see you.